welcome everybody to another round of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user Kooky. That's Kooky, and he's driving the T-34 on an encounter battle on El Haluf, and you may notice they are also platooned up with another user who's also had replays featured, Lieutenant Gruber, driving the T-32. The T-34 being a premium heavy tank for the Americans, costs I think 12,500 gold. If it's not 12,500, which might be the price of the Lover, it's probably 12,000 gold. My opinion, well worth the investment if you plan on playing a lot of World of Tanks, because this thing does get it makes some very good credits and some very good experience for its tier. If you're using it to accelerate crew training, then obviously it's very good for your American heavy line, because obviously the premium tanks don't technically need crew of their own. They don't receive a penalty for being the incorrect crew. So say that T-32 there, if you owned one of those, you could just transfer the crew out of the T-34 into the out of the T-32 and into the T-34, and you wouldn't receive any penalties. You will notice that the names will go red, the name of the tank that they're driving, but the percentage will not, so they don't receive any negative consequences for driving the wrong tank as long as it's the same weight category. So anyway, enough of my tutorial. T-34, obviously an excellent tank, follows on. It's got a very similar playstyle to the T-29, whereas and other American heavy tanks where you just want to get yourself hull down into a good position. Oh my word! That Hellcat didn't fare too well there. So yeah, you want to get yourself in a good hull down position, because the turret armor of this thing's very difficult to crack, and as you can see there, the alpha damage of this gun, over 400 damage caused there. So the alpha damage on this thing, very, very good. Its damage per minute probably not as good as something like the Lover, but the alpha damage that it does is fantastic. A little bit unfortunate there not to get a hit on that penetration on that KV-1S. He's just dropped back just in time there to save himself some damage. I'm going to push out and see if he can get a shot on someone over the ridge there. The only problem with this gun is its accuracy isn't particularly great. While it does have great alpha damage, its accuracy is not fantastic. Lieutenant Gruber getting a little bit shot up there, getting taken down to 121 hit points, so it doesn't look good for him. And there we go, after I've said that, he gets taken out by the IS-3. So really, nobody really wanting to make the first push. The enemies have a couple of KV-1Ss quite far up that ridge who are doing the spotting. Ooh, a little bit unfortunate not to fire. Just took his shot before going into sniper mode then. That cost him the shot. Takes a hit there from that 1S. Second one should be able to take him out, and there we go. That becomes kill number 1 for Kooky. So yeah, the enemy's not really pushing up too far. They've got the KV-1Ss here for spotting, and everybody else is kind of camped on the opposite ridge here, kind of squaring off against each other with a little bit of a Mexican standoff, just with absolutely gigantic guns. Although, as you can see, there's only a Tiger P in this T-34 left now, and there is a considerably larger enemy force on the opposite hill. And that T-32 getting a good hit there. So it just needs to angle his front armor a little bit more. The problem with angling the front armor of these American tanks is the tracks tend to stick out a little bit too much, and the enemy can generally get some damage on them. Ooh, a little bit unfortunate there. Saw the tracer of the T-32, but just took that shot, and it just about hit the ridge there. I think this T-32's probably got a slightly faster reload, or possibly not. They look like they've got about the same reload. Managed to take out his tracks there and gets a significant chunk of damage through his side armor there. So that T-32 just deciding that discretion is the better part of valor in this instance, and just hides back behind the rock there, and is just probably going to sit there and wait this one out, wait for some of his allies to come forward. Now, the enemy at this point should really be thinking that all they've seen in the last few minutes is this T-34, so it's probably about time for them to start pushing out. As you can see, they do have the superior force on that ridge, and in fact, they've got the superior force overall, considering that it is 7 kills to 2. So this one really not going very well for the Allies. But obviously, because this has been featured as a subscriber replay, you can rest assured that if something absolutely miraculous doesn't happen, at least something good happens. So just deciding to take a shot at that 152 instead, because the thing has the weakest armor and the most dangerous gun. Unfortunately, Kooky just getting a 0 damage critical, so a little bit unfortunate there. And then gets a good hit on that T-28. Drops back a little bit. He's just trying to lure the enemy into firing at him at the turret where they're not going to be able to penetrate, or at that nicely sloped front armor with the angle that he has it at. So just has a shot into the fog of war there, just in case the guys are hanging out. And apparently, I don't remember what his health was, but may have gotten a hit on him there. Ooh, little bit unfortunate there not to get any extra damage just as the Su-152 comes into view. Looks like the 152 just trying to maneuver himself away and just, no, I was going to say just about getting into cover there, but no, not quite getting away before Kooky has his shot. So there is a little bit of a bug with this replay. I think that's just because of the ping that Kooky had at the time. As you can see, his ping's climbed all the way up to 999 milliseconds there. So just having to deal with a little bit of a lag spike. Don't worry, the replay will be back any moment now. There we go. So it looks like the enemy has decided that to hell with this camping across the other sides of this ridge with a Mexican standoff. They're going to go for the capture because the camping's not really working for them anymore, considering the enemy, the allies here have pulled back a good few kills here, getting it back up to 8 for 6. So pulling back a good amount of kills here. This IS-3 is going to be sitting there, thinks he can probably take one more shot, but if Kooky's pretty lucky here, into the fog of war, takes out the IS-3, and that is all she wrote. That becomes kill number 4. Enemy still capturing the base here, but as you can see on an encounter battle, they've still got 3 minutes left on this one, so not really in any rush to go and sort that one out. And an excellent little piece of situational awareness there from Kooky. Knew that he could just get out there, kill the T-32 before the guy had the reaction times to be able to fire one back. Going to try and get this Churchill Mark 7, but he's just, oh, there we go. So Kooky decides to make a move now, and as you can see, there's still quite a few people obviously camping in the center there, because as he made his move, it was about 3 or 4 shots came in from different angles and different positions. He's going to have to play this one carefully. Now the Churchill Mark 7 has been taken out. Oh, I was going to say he's probably not spotted anymore, but it looks like the, what is that? That is a Goose, an M6A2E1. It was nicknamed the Goose just after beta, just because, well, the silhouette in the top right-hand side there, you can see on the enemy team, looks a little bit like a goose. And you know what? World of Tankers obviously don't have very good imagination when it comes to picking the name of tanks. So you don't see one of those very often these days. You see Kooky just switching to HE rounds there in case he had to try and take out the Hellcat in one shot. Luckily, one of his allies did manage to get some damage on him, so Kooky was able to take him out anyway. Type 58 turning up now. There's not really much Type 58 is going to be able to do when he's a little bit too scared. Really what the Type 58 should have done there is just pushed on past and try to completely encircle Kooky in the T-34. But as it is, he's just decided to drop back, and he's getting shot at anyway, and just leaves Kooky more than enough time to just reposition himself, get himself into a different place. GW Panther's already fired, so he knew he had more than enough time to go around and deal with that Type T-58. And then he can just swing himself around and then go on the hunt for this GW Panther. And here he is, should be able to get some there. Oh, very unlucky there, gets a very low roll, only 356 damage, leaving the GW Panther with 4 hit points and probably a reloaded cannon at this point. So, just going to rock forwards and backwards, trying to lure the GW Panther in and possibly having a shot. But no, it looks like you can see the top of him. Fires a HE round just in case some magical reason it didn't penetrate, the splash damage would be able to take out those 4 remaining hit points. And this has been a fantastic comeback by the Allied team so far. Kooky getting himself 7 kills, now pulled the score up to 13 to 10. So that just leaves a Wolverine and this Goose up in the top here. Now the the M6, this was a reward for buying the game when it was still in beta. If you bought what was called the heavy package, it cost around £85. If I remember rightly, that may have been 90 to 100 euros. Then you were rewarded with a load of gold, a load of premium time, and this M6 A2E1. I remember going up against them because a lot of people had them just after closed beta. When you went up against them in your tier 6 tanks, the things felt absolutely indestructible. They don't have very many weak points. Obviously, the way the game is now, then pretty much everything is just going to sail straight through the armor of these things, especially when it presents its side armor like that. But the front armor and the turret armor of this thing were absolutely ridiculous just after beta, and it looks like that guy probably hasn't played since then, because he's just revealing nothing but his side armor and gets himself taken out in short order. And that just leaves this valiant Wolverine. Ooh, I was going to say that valiant Wolverine who's got no chance, but he's almost killed the T-34 of Kuki here, who just about manages to spin himself around. Very lucky snapshot there to take out the last guy, the Wolverine, picking himself up a monster 9 kills. So absolutely awesome replay there from Kuki, showing off the very best of the T-34. So excellent, excellent work there. Thank you very much for sending that replay in. Stick around, because as always, the score screens are coming right up. And that was second replay of the days from the user Hemophobe Vampire. That's Hemophobe Vampire 2, sorry. And he's driving the Panther Mark II on an encounter battle on Himmelsdorf. So this username did make me giggle just a little bit, because obviously a hemophobe is somebody who's afraid of blood, and obviously a vampire drinks blood to survive. So a hemophobe vampire probably wouldn't last very long, to be honest, which is probably why he's on to 2 already instead of 1. So anyway, back to this replay. Going to be taking a route straight away to the train yard. Going to be covering off the cap point, which is a good move for a quick tank like the Panther Mark II. But obviously being a medium rather than a light, it does have the hit points, firepower and armor to normally be able to deal with pretty much anything that the enemy will be able to throw at them. This obviously being a tier 8 battle, and Hemophobe being in a tier 8 should be able to pretty handily deal with almost anything that the enemy decides to send down this way. So just hiding himself down nicely in a hold down position behind the piles of rubble. Spots a T-29, gets spotted by the T-29, so just has to drop back ever so slightly. Good thing about these German tanks is it's very easy to angle your armor against them, although it looks like his turret managed to deflect that shot from the T-29. Just going to be waiting for him. There we go. That's 3 good hits on that T-29, although it looks like he doesn't have the fully upgraded turret, so he obviously doesn't have the fully upgraded gun either. So getting a good bit of damage on that T-29 early. A little bit unfortunate he's not able to put one through the front of that KV-1S. Can't quite find a shot. Going to see if he can sneak a shell around the corner there, but not quite able to. Just banking on the fact that that KV-1S hadn't moved. Indeed, he hadn't, but that shot just unfortunately missing ever so slightly. Just keeping an eye on where this KV-1S is looking. He's not looking at Hemophobe, so Hemophobe's just able to finish him off and pick up kill number 1. So they've got a 25-2 moving up on this right-hand flank, but luckily they've got a IS-3 and a T-71 there. The combined firepower and survivability of those two should be more than enough just to dissuade anybody making a push there. Right-hand flank doesn't appear to be going too well. They did have a 1375 in around their spawn area, but it looks like a KV-1S has gone to try and deal with him. Unfortunately, I don't think a KV-1S is going to be a match for a 1375. So Hemophobe just going to be going up now to support his ally and his platoon mate there, the Jagdtiger 8.8 against a T29. Ooh, and a wild M5 Stewart appears. This is definitely not the position he wants to be in. Should have had that first shot and then tried to make it straight through the wall there and run away. Because Hemophobe's just able to get one shot into him, ram him and take him out no problem whatsoever. So now the Jagdtiger just dueling with his T29, so he's going to come in from the side, try and finish him off. But he's taking hits from the side. T29 able to take out his tracks, spin him around. But that is going to be all she wrote for him. Hemophobe Vampire picking up kill number 3. So now the base is looking nice and open, but it looks like they've just been absolutely destroyed on the hill on the right hand flank. So they're going to have to play this one nice and carefully. They found a Lover in the centre there. Just going to let the Jagdtiger 8.8 try and soak up some of that damage. He obviously having the superior armour there. So the two of them just going to pound on this Lover until he either leaves. To be honest, after taking 3 damaging shots, that Lover should have angled himself and started to reverse back behind the buildings there, just get himself away. So Hemophobe doing the smart thing here, just leaving the Lover to his ally there and just working on some of the guys coming in from the north, because obviously they lost the hill so decisively. They've now got to deal with enemy tanks from all angles here. That Churchill's disappeared, but there is still a KV-1S, although he is now dealt with. Trying to keep the artillery alive here. There's a 4502 moving in. Luckily able to dissuade him from coming in any further. Enemy artillery was spotted in the south there. Not really able to find where he was and get any damage on him. 4502 moving into the train yard. Gonna see if he can put a shot straight through his front plate, but no, hitting that sloped armour there and just bouncing off. Gonna see if he can pick out his underbelly. No, that one just about bounces as well. Gonna switch to the premium rounds here because he really needs to take these guys out, because it is 3 against 6 at the moment. They've got guys from all angles here. Really, if the enemy just plays this smart, which it looks like that Tiger wasn't. Oh, nice shot on 4502 there. Unfortunately, not quite able to take him out. That IS-3 really should be doing more than just kind of hanging around there. Oh, he is. He's making his way around. Unfortunately, he hasn't really been quick enough. But a good round right through the turret of that Churchill there, taking him out. On the plus side, most of the enemy are on very low hit points, while it is 4 against 3, as you can see. Ooh, 4 against 2, as the Jagdtiger 8.8 gets himself eliminated. That's going to leave Hemophobe Vampire all alone. Luckily, he is able to take out that Pershing. I'm just going to sit here with his back to the wall and hope that the artillery doesn't bomb him out of existence, as it's now a Panther 2 versus a GW Tiger P and an SU-14-1. So they're probably not going to be able to get the base capture off here. They've got 3.5 minutes to go. Ooh, very good shot there from the artillery, knowing that he probably wouldn't be able to get a shot on him directly because he's hiding behind the wall. He did manage to land a shot close to him, and the splash damage was almost able to take out the Panther 2 there, taking them down to 98 points. Unfortunately, though, the reload speed of this Tiger P, not fantastic, so he should be able to take him out with a few more shots, and he becomes kill number 6. This IS-3 taking it very, very slowly to get into position here. I don't know, because his duel with the 4502 finished quite some time ago, so I'm not really sure what he's been doing in that train yard, but better late than never, I suppose. At least he's coming to help now, because there is only this SU-14-1 left. So really, if the IS-3 goes off, there we go, goes off to try and find him, the two of them should be able to take him out no problem whatsoever, because there's no way this SU-14-1 is going to be able to one-shot this this IS-3, or indeed take out both of them. Oh, a little bit unfortunate there to miss that shot. May be able to squeeze one between the buildings there. As you see, he's presented himself nicely. That's a good bit of damage on there. Going to drop back just so he can't hit him anymore. one more. Ooh, very unlucky there to bounce, but that IS-3 finishes him off, and that is a well-deserved victory from these guys, putting up a fantastic defense and getting, well, not getting off the base capture, wiping out all of the enemies. So, excellent replay there from Hemophobe Vampire 2. Thank you very much for sending that replay in. Obviously, if you've got yourself a good replay or a question, send those to the usual addresses that are in the description below. Leave me a like or favourite if you enjoyed this video. Stick a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to try and identify which tank and which map it is in the thumbnail. First person to guess those correctly will be amazing. And I have been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks, and I will catch you guys next time.